Today, I'm going to show you how to make a project that is trending all over right now. We are going to be making a belt bag. Hi, I'm Jess from Sallie Tomato, and welcome to our channel. If you're new to sewing or like sewing stylish projects, this is the place to be. Today's project is very quick and easy to make. There are only a few pieces that you need to cut out from your fabrics, and then we'll have this project stitched together in no time. I am so excited to dive into today's tutorial, but before we do that, if you like our videos, we'd love it if you'd give us a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below so you know when we release new videos. Also, before we get started, you need to download the pattern pieces. So the project that we'll be making today is a pattern I designed called the 5th Avenue Fanny Pack. And right now the pattern is available for free. So go ahead and click the link in the description box below to download your pattern while it's still free, because it might not be free forever. After you download the pattern, make sure to print out your pattern pieces at 100% or actual size so they are at scale. And then you'll want to gather all the supplies that are listed and follow the cutting instructions included in the pattern download. If you're brand new to reading patterns, selecting fabrics, or cutting out fabrics, I definitely recommend to check out my Learn to Sew series on YouTube for extra tips and guidance. So as I sit here, I am thinking about the fabrics that I have picked out for this project, and I cannot wait to get started and make this bag with you. So why don't we get started? So first, let's go through the supplies that you'll need. For my bag, I chose to use a Sherpa fabric for the main fabric. Sherpa is so trendy right now on all styles of bags. It's very lofty, so I'll give you some tips along the way for working with that. Next is the lining fabric. I chose this gorgeous print by Cotton & Steel. I absolutely love the lavender and the rust in here. And then there's touches of gold as well. So you'll cut out your pieces according to the pattern. And if you'd like an interior zipper pocket, I'll give you details for that. There are only a few extra steps to install a zipper pocket, and it's a great feature because it will give you the option to turn your bag right side out through the zipper pocket. Otherwise, I'll also show you an option if you don't want an interior zipper pocket, how to turn the bag right side out through a turning opening. But we'll get into that later. The pattern also includes the option to fuse interfacing to your lining fabrics. And this is optional because if you're using a lofty or thicker material for the main fabric, then you might want to not fuse any interfacing to your lining fabrics, just to help reduce some of that extra bulk. However, if you are using a woven fabric such as cotton or canvas, you might want to fuse interfacing to those pieces as well as your lining, so that way you have a nice structure to those fabrics. Then you'll also need some foam or fleece interfacing. So I'm going to use foam. I just absolutely love the shape and body of this material. It's very lightweight. And I'm actually using some scraps for my project. So what I did is I took some foam scraps and matched up the cut edges. Then I fused some lightweight woven interfacing over the join areas on both sides, and it worked out really well to join these scraps together. Next, you'll need some webbing, and I'm using this gorgeous design with a rust and white coloration. I think this goes really well with the lining fabrics, and it'll add a boutique look to the strap. This webbing is really lightweight, easy to sew with, and very comfortable to wear. You'll also need a few pieces of hardware for the strap. You'll need a side release buckle and an adjustable slider buckle. And lastly, you'll need some nylon coil zipper tape in size number 5. Number 5 is referencing the width of the coil, and the tape itself measures 1.25 inches. So you'll want to use a handbag zipper for this project. It looks super professional, it's durable, and they're very easy to install. Our zippers have a metallic finish, so you can match the metallic coil color to your hardware color, and everything looks super professional. This type of zipper is very easy to cut and sew over, which is necessary for this project. We have lots of styles available on our website, including stripe zippers and metallic zippers, and lots of different tape colors. You'll also need some zipper pulls to go with your project. We have all kinds of different styles on our website, so I haven't decided on which zipper pull style I want to use yet. I grabbed some of these circle zipper pulls, which I thought are really pretty, and you can always add a faux leather or cork tassel to these. I also grabbed these heart-shaped zipper pulls. I thought these were so fun. And also some flower zipper pulls. I thought these were very Y2K style, and I'm not sure which one I'm gonna choose yet. Which one do you like in the comments? So the first step is to attach your main fabrics to your foam pieces. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy wrist pin cushion and position your pieces over top of the foam. So you can use basting spray or pins to hold your fabrics together. And you'll want to make sure that your main fabric pieces have foam all the way around the edges. And next we'll head over to the sewing machine and stitch the main fabric pieces in place. So wind a bobbin, thread your machine, and then set the stitch length to either 5 or 6 millimeters. We're going to be doing a basting stitch, so you want a longer stitch length. At the machine, stitch around each edge of all of your pieces, either with an 1/8 inch or a 1/4 inch seam allowance, whatever you're comfortable with, to baste your main fabric to the foam. And each time you reach a corner, lift up the presser foot and pivot. And then you can lower the presser foot and continue sewing. After sewing, remove the pins. Then take your scissors and cut along the raw edges of your main fabric so that way the foam is even with the raw edges. And I love this technique of attaching the foam because then your pieces are cut exactly the same and you don't have to worry about any shifting. And you can set aside your main fabric pieces for the moment. I want to share another tip about interfacing if you're using Sherpa fabrics. So I already went ahead and created one of these bags out of Sherpa, and I did use the foam, and it does make the bag quite bulky in the corners. So I would recommend, if you're using Sherpa fabric, to use a heavyweight fusible interfacing. I'm using Durafuse interfacing, and just fused it to the wrong side of my main fabric front bottom panel, my back panel, and also my top front panel. This interfacing will provide the support that you're looking for, but it won't have that added bulk. I share lots of tips and recommendations in the PDF download, so be sure to read through that carefully so you know which type of interfacing to use for this project depending on the type of main fabric that you're using. If you want to add an interior zipper pocket to your bag, grab your back panel out of your lining fabric and then both of your zipper pocket lining pieces. You can skip ahead in the video to the next section of instructions if you don't want to add a zipper pocket. You'll also need a 7-inch long zipper and 1 zipper pull. I decided to go with the flower pulls. You can check out the videos on our YouTube channel on how to put the zipper onto the zipper tape. It's super easy, but I also love using this easy zipper jig tool. There are slots for size number 3 coil zippers and size number 5. So you simply position the tool with the printed numbers facing you, and you take your zipper pull with the curved side up, the flat side down, and you slide it so the back side of the pull is facing you. Then you take your zipper tape and separate each end of the zipper tape into 2 halves. Then you'll insert each side of the zipper tape into 1 hole on the pull, and you want to come in at a bit of an angle. Once you have both sides of the coil into the pull and the raw edges aligned, then you can simply pull down on the zipper tape on both sides evenly, and that will slide your zipper pull onto your zipper tape. I'm not going to show how to install the zipper pocket in today's tutorial because we already have a great video that you can check out on our YouTube channel. Just search for zipper pocket tutorial and watch that. It'll be the same steps and process for installing the zipper pocket on this pattern. Make sure that you reference the pattern notes so you know the seam allowance as well as the measurements for the zipper placement box opening. You also want to make sure that your zipper pull opens in the correct direction. So when you are wearing the bag, this piece will be against you and you'll want the zipper to open towards your dominant hand. So make sure that that's positioned so it works well for you. And also very, very important, make sure that the bottom edges are not sewn together. So we'll turn the bag right side out through this opening. Unless you're not adding a zipper pocket, don't worry, I'll show you another method. You'll also want to unzip the zipper completely, and that will prepare the bag for turning later on. Next, we're going to attach the top zipper closure. So I've already went ahead and attached the zipper pull to my zipper tape, and you'll want to grab your main fabric, front top, and lining top panel as well. First of all, you'll want to note the direction that the zipper pull opens. So you'll want it to open towards your dominant hand. So I already have the pull positioned as if I was wearing the bag and had the zipper against me, and it opens towards my dominant hand. Then you're going to take your main fabric front top panel and position it as if you were wearing it as well. So the curved edge will be away from you, so that way the bulk of your items are away, and then the flat side will be against you as you wear the bag. So then you're going to take your zipper and place it right sides together and align one raw edge of the zipper tape along the raw edge of the fabric panel. Next, at the sewing machine, we'll sew the zipper to the fabric. Next, you'll take your lining piece and place it right sides together with the main fabric, sandwiching the zipper in between. And you'll want to align all edges and clip the layers together. Then over at the machine, we'll sew the lining in place along the curved front edge. After sewing, you can take your scissors and trim away some of the bulk from the curved edges. Just be careful that you don't cut through your seam. Another option is to cut little slits or notches along the curved edge to help relax the fabric. Turn the fabrics right side out and align the straight edges of your fabric and clip the layers together. I recommend top stitching along the straight edge first to make sure that the fabric edges stay even. Then top stitch along the curved edge of the seam and make sure that your zipper pull stays out of the way and adjust the zipper tape as needed so everything stays flat and you don't end up stitching over the zipper again. Next, we're going to attach the front bottom panel. Place your top panel right sides together with the bottom panel and make sure that your zipper is centered. You can fold the top panel in half and mark the center with some chalk or a pen on both pieces and add some clips to hold the layers together. As you clip the zipper to the bottom panel, you'll want to make sure to not force the zipper in place and allow the piece to curve just as the zipper curves. You'll also notice that there is zipper tape extending past each side edge of the bottom panel, and that's intentional. Don't worry, I'll show you how it'll all be finished up in a later step. Then we'll take this over to the sewing machine and sew the layers together. After top stitching, take your lining front bottom panel and place it right sides together with your main fabric bottom panel and align the top straight edges so the zipper is sandwiched in between the layers just like before. Then stitch the layers together. After that, fold your lining away from the main fabric, so the main fabric and lining are wrong sides together. You'll want to make sure that the edges stay even along the sides and bottom. Then top stitch from the seam that you just sewn. After top stitching, we're going to trim the side edges of the zipper tape so they're even with the side edges of the front bottom panel. So just take your scissors and cut so that way it stays even with the side edges up to the top corner. Next, we're going to stitch the darts. So you'll want to make sure that your lining fabric is away from your main fabric, and beginning with the main fabric, you're going to fold it right sides together and align the adjacent side edges of the dart. And you're going to sew a 1/4 inch starting at the bottom raw edge, maintaining that seam allowance all the way up to the fold to make sure you maintain that 1/4 inch seam allowance. And we'll repeat for all 4 darts, including the lining. And if it's easier for you, you can take a ruler and mark the 1/4 inch seam allowance to help make sure you maintain it all the way to that folded edge. And to help make sure that the front panels stay together and don't shift during the final construction, you can place them wrong sides together and align all the edges, including matching the darts. And you can press the folds of the darts in opposite directions and top stitch along the outer edges to hold the layers together. Next, we'll prepare the adjustable strap. So start with your shorter piece, which is your strap connector, and you're going to separate your buckle. Grab the piece with the clips and thread your strap connector through the upper opening and fold your connector and align the raw edges. You can add a clip to hold the layers together. You'll want to finish off the raw ends either with a zigzag stitch or take a lighter and lightly touch it to the raw ends to melt the edges. So if you do decide to melt the ends, just be very careful, and then you'll repeat for each raw end of your strap piece. Then take one end of your strap and you're going to thread it through the slider buckle from the underside over the center bar and back down. You'll fold the strap back onto itself. And I do recommend finishing off the end in some way. Although we melted it, you can leave it or you can double fold the end. So I like to fold my ends about a 1/2 inch in and then back onto itself, and that'll conceal the raw end. You can also check out our new Make a Strap pattern for tips on how to finish off the ends of webbing or strapping. Then we'll take these pieces over to the sewing machine. Sew the raw ends together on your connector and also top stitch the end of your strap. You can either just do a straight line and back stitch, or I like to do a rectangle, and that will reinforce and encase those raw edges. After sewing, the underside of the strap will have the fold, so put your thumb against the underside of the strap and follow it all the way to the end. Then you're going to take your buckle and thread your strap from the underside to the top side through the buckle and feed some of the buckle through the strap. Make sure that the undersides are still together facing each other, and then you're going to thread the raw end of the strap back through the slider buckle. Next, to position each raw end of the straps, you'll want to make sure that each strap piece and buckle are facing up, and you're going to position them against the right side of your back panel of your main fabric. So with the right sides face up, you're going to attach your connector piece to the left-hand side of the back panel and your strap piece to the right-hand side of your back panel. So your slider buckle should be against the top side, and if you follow along, your buckle should be facing up as well. So position those according to the pattern and top stitch the raw ends in place. Now we're ready to assemble the bag. So go ahead and roll up your strap piece so it's away from the side edges. And with your main fabrics right sides together, align all edges of the front and back panels. Use lots of clips to hold the layers together. Make sure that the zipper tape stays flat as you clip the side edges. And also align the side edges and bottom edges of the lining with the main fabrics. Then you'll take this to the sewing machine and sew around the entire outer edge. So if you decided to use Sherpa like me, your bag will be quite poofy. You'll want to double check that you caught all the layers of the webbing and the zipper and your back panel as well. And the last step is to attach your lining back panel. So you'll take your back panel and place it right sides together, and you can squish it down. Make sure that those raw edges are aligned all the way around the entire bag. If you added a zipper pocket, then you can sew completely around all the outer edges. If you are going to turn your bag right side out through a turning opening, you'll want to leave about 3 or 4 inches unsewn along the bottom edge. So you'll start sewing, do your back stitching, leave an opening, and then resume stitching again to complete your stitching. Then you can turn your bag right side out by pulling it through the opening here or the zipper pocket. If you did add the zipper pocket, be sure to top stitch the pocket opening closed. Simply align the raw edges and stitch an 1/8 inch from the turning opening. If you used a turning opening, you'll want to hand sew that opening closed, and your bag is complete. So here's how my finished bag turned out. I absolutely love it. I think it is so fun. It's great size, and the webbing just adds a little bit of an extra touch to it. So I hope you enjoyed this project. We'd love to see photos of your completed project. Snap a picture, tag us with hashtag Sallie Tomato and hashtag 5th Avenue Bag, and you should be so proud of your completed project. Remember to hit that subscribe button because we have lots of fun content planned for the year ahead, and you won't want to miss it. I'll see you next time.